Do this 3 times in one day with anything that you're manifesting, and it's going to come to you. And it doesn't matter whether it's making $3 million or $300,000, seeing that in your bank account, or having your dream physique, or helping your family members, finding your specific person or relationship. Anything that you're trying to create and you master this technique, just doing this 3 times a day, it's going to get you to that next level, and you'll see that you will develop a new facility in your mind to be able to attract things to come to you. You're no longer seeking, now you're attracting these things to come to you simply by doing this. And one other thing that I want you to know about manifestation, when you're waiting for your manifestation and you're seeing things that contradict your manifestation or whatever's happening, or you just don't believe or you doubt that your manifestation is coming, it doesn't matter, okay? These things don't matter. It doesn't matter if you doubt whether it's going to come to you or not. I've experienced this so many times where I'm trying to manifest something and I'm actually doubting that it's going to happen. But so many times, even when I was doubting it, it still came to me. And once I got to that level of, it doesn't matter whether I believe it, or it doesn't matter whether I doubt whether it's going to come, it's going to come if I picture it in my mind and I'm persistent in my feeling of my wish fulfilled, and I'm falling asleep and doing these exercises throughout the day and seeing the end result. So always remember that it doesn't matter whether or not you doubt your manifestation or you believe it can happen to you. It does not matter as long as you're experiencing it in your imagination as you're going to sleep at night and you're doing these techniques 3 times a day that I'm about to share with you right now. So I want you to think of something that you're wanting to manifest, or something that you are manifesting right now and it's just hasn't come to you yet. Maybe you're not doing the work correctly, but this is what I want you to do. So for example, you want to see, or you want to have $3 million in your bank account, or $300,000 in your bank account. So I want you to think of, how do you view your bank account now? If you want to look at your bank account, how do you do that? Is it your phone? Is it your PC? Is it your tablet? Is it your iPad? So I want you to imagine this, or I want you to first go into the simulation, pick up your phone or whatever device that you use to view your bank balance on. Then I want you to visually memorize what it looks like, what your bank balance looks like. What is the actual specifics of exactly how it looks on the device that you're looking at for your bank balance. Study it and memorize it in your mind, in your imagination. Close your eyes and picture it. Start picturing it in your mind, just so you can get it real. That way you can feel, you can actually see the details of it, just like looking at it in the simulation or the 3-dimensional world. And once you've memorized and you've kind of downloaded this information of what it looks like in the simulation, I want you to do this 3 times a day. In the morning, in the afternoon, and at night before you go to sleep. This is all you have to do to create this to come into your world if you do it properly, just as I'm instructing you to right now. So you can do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed, whatever you prefer, whichever way that you can picture something more clearly in your imagination. And you're only going to do this for 10 seconds. 10 seconds is all it takes. So in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night. Doesn't matter what time it is in the morning, afternoon, at night. So picture the number that you want to see in your bank balance. Maybe you want to start off with $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, or maybe you want to go all the way. You want to make it 30 million. Whatever number that you want to create, I want you to put that number in your imagination of what you downloaded, of what it looks like on your bank balance. When you're visualizing this, you're picturing it in your mind, and you're only going to hold on to this image for 10 seconds, no less. You can do it longer if you want to, but you don't need to. But make sure that your attention is solely fixated and concentrated on this picture for 10 seconds. So if you're picturing it for 2 seconds and your mind drifts, you got to bring it back and start back over again. So you have to hold on to this picture in your mind for 10 seconds without your mind drifting or going anywhere. So you must be very conscious of this picture. And if it drifts off after 5 seconds, you got to bring it back and start over again. But you only have to do this in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, until you get to that 10 seconds where you're actually picturing your bank balance saying the number that you want it to say, as if it's happening to you right now. And as soon as you get to that 10 seconds where your attention has been completely absorbed without drifting anywhere on this number of your bank balance, whatever that is, it's up to you to make that decision of what you want that number to be. But as soon as you get to the 10 seconds and you feel it and it's done, that's what I want you to say. It's done, it's finished. And then you can carry out throughout your day, and you're done with this until the afternoon, and then you do it again, and then you wait till nighttime, and then you do it again, okay? And you do this until it happens. Okay? You continue to do this, and it may happen the next day. It may happen in a week. It may happen in a month. It could happen during the same day that you started doing this. I've had this happen when I do this technique, like within a few hours or within a few days, depending on what I'm trying to create. Picturing it just for that 10 seconds. And then watching it be attracted to me when I'm not even trying to seek anything. I'm just picturing it and feeling it to be done. And remember, it doesn't matter whether you're doubting it or not, or whether you believe that it can happen to you. It does not matter if you're experiencing it in your imagination and you're picturing and seeing this in your imagination and experiencing it for these 10 seconds. It doesn't matter whether you doubt it. It doesn't matter whether you believe it. It's going to come to you. And I've experienced this so many times. And once you understand this and you start seeing the things come to you, even when you are doubting them, and you know that it doesn't matter whether you doubt them or not, then you stop doubting everything. Then you just start believing that you can have anything you want. And it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're doing the work, as long as you're picturing what you want in your mind for that 10 seconds and holding your attention on without your mind drifting anywhere. And just keep doing this 3 times a day, saying it's done, it's finished afterwards. It's done, it's finished. And remember, this doesn't have to be just about money or creating your bank balance. You can picture anything that you want for this 10 seconds. So figure out what you want, whether that's a specific relationship or whether that's your dream physique, or helping someone that you really care about and you want them to have this new job, or you want them to have this much money, or you want to create something to come into their lives or heal them from something. All you have to do is create this picture. Something that implies that it's done now, that their issues are now solved. Thank you for showing me these issues are solved. You're doing that in your own imagination. You're not saying it, but that's what you're doing. When you picture something being complete, that issue is now solved. Everything is now solved. So picture your dream physique. You looking at yourself in the mirror, and you see yourself in the mirror with this physique that you've always dreamed to have. And you do that for 10 seconds in the morning, afternoon, at night. And you'll see what will happen. It's the craziest things will start happening in your world. I've experienced this in so many different levels of how this works, because as we know, we're living in a simulation. And when you're picturing something that you don't actually have in this simulation yet, but you're picturing it to be true, just for that short amount of time, it changes everything. You shift in the multiverse and things just start being attracted to you, start coming to you. Different doors start opening. Information just will come to you out of nowhere, or you'll get an idea of something, or all of a sudden there'll be this new product, a new supplement that just does it for you, or pushes you to that next level, or gives you that edge to get that physique that you want. Or all of a sudden you get all this free workout equipment, or something will happen, or your metabolism all of a sudden is like it was when you were 13 years old. All these different things start happening that will lead you to the naturalness of your manifestation now being material in your objective world. It'll become natural to you as you keep picturing it, and then these ideas, and then you'll become this new version of you that it's now natural to you. And now you're like in this accepted end or feeling of relief and naturalness of now having this physique, or having this much money, or being in this relationship or something. It'll change your concept of yourself and shift your identity just by quickly picturing these things in your mind. You'll see that your personality will completely change in these states, because you're now gaining this knowledge of attention, or this experience of using your attention and feeling something. You're programming this new facility in your mind. And then once you do this for a certain amount of time, you don't even have to try anymore. It's like training your mind to picture things ahead of the event. And once you design your mind to start doing these things by manually doing them, it'll automatically start doing them. Like you'll be on autopilot, and you decide that you want something that you desire. Your imagination will then just start picturing that it's already done, whether you're conscious of it or not. So right now with me during this video, I want you to think of something that you desire, something that you want in your life. Because remember, that's the first element. What do you truly want? Be specific with yourself. Be very specific with what you want, what you desire. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Picture that as already being completed now. Whatever that number is, where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years? What's your 5-year plan? Who do you want to be? Who do you see yourself as in 5 years? What kind of relationship? How much money do you want? What kind of car do you want? What kind of house do you want to be living in? What kind of friends do you want to have? And I want you to picture these things. Start picturing them in your mind, just doing them for these short intervals. You have to do this for 30 seconds a day. That's it. 30 seconds a day to manifest whatever you want. And keep doing it until it comes to you. Keep doing different things. Keep moving on to different things. Keep upgrading your life. Keep upgrading your concept of yourself. Keep peeling off these layers of consciousness and create a new being of consciousness. Your state of consciousness keeps unfolding as you become more present and your attention develops and it becomes more concentrated. That's when you start peeling these layers off of consciousness and you start seeing and being more observant of what's happening in your life, in your imagination, your inner dialogue. And eventually you see that your inner dialogue and your imagination is actually dictating the events before they happen in your world. You'll start seeing them. And during these moments when you're observant of your inner conversations, you'll start noticing this. Like you'll have an inner conversation that's negative towards a person, and that person will come to your life and they'll be negative. Just because of this inner conversation that you had, or you had an inner conversation about something not going your way, then all of a sudden that'll happen. That'll start happening in your world. All of these things, if you're observant, you can notice that your inner conversations and your imagination is actually dictating these events. But I want you to know that it doesn't matter whether you doubt your manifestations or you believe that it can happen to you. It can happen to you. All you have to do is experience it. The experience is everything. Because when you experience something in your imagination, then the subconscious mind feels that it's already done. And it doesn't matter whether you believe it or you doubt it. It doesn't matter. You've experienced it in imagination to be true, and it has to come to you. Then you've shocked time sense, the positron, and you're going to be led to that event. Then your inner dialogue, everything in your inner conversations is lining you up and taking you to that parallel universe that where your manifestation is going to come to you, whatever you're picturing. It's going to lead you there and it's going to be led to you. So just picture it and let it happen. Do this morning, afternoon, and night, picturing it to happen. And here's Neville Goddard explaining the law.
Change it by simply daring to assume that you are now what reason is going to tell you, that you're not it now, and it's difficult to imagine that you ever will be it. Forget that. All things are possible to God. And you found who He is. He is your own wonderful human imagination. That's God. So assume it, and then let it happen in your world. I'll give you a little secret. People say, I work so hard at it. Imagination will do little that we seek from compulsion. It will do little, if anything, until we have imagined the wish fulfilled. He does not move under compulsion. We have to imagine the wish fulfilled for imagination to take action. So when people will tell you, but I work so hard at it, well, that's why you're failing. If you really believe that all things are possible to God, and God is your own wonderful human imagination, and His ways are higher than your mortal level, well then, what are you interfering with that state for? Assume the end, and don't work it at all. You'll be moving under compulsion to manifest it. If you simply assume it and let it be. What do you do after someone is pregnant? You just let it be. And if you don't, if you interfere with it, you're going to perform a certain miscarriage. But the same thing is true of a mental miscarriage. You simply assume that you are and go about your business. And when you least expect it, you'll feel the evidence of it coming into your world. And then you can speak with the authority of experience. Now let us go into the silence.